Hello, hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon. Can you hear us okay? Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Let us know how the sound is, because I always have bad sound issues when I start. Let me know. How's it going? Can you hear me? Stinner, thanks for resubbing. Amazing. 3 months. Thank you so much. Oh, which shirt? My shirt or Pina's shirt? I'm assuming this shirt because it's got
That one. Your shirt.
yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's like a Space Invaders shirt. Cool, you can hear us. Okay, let's just say hi to everyone. So hi Gabby, hi Zion, hi Compassionate. And we've got Scouter and Sinner may or may not be here because they did just resubscribe. Hello, hello, welcome. Hi Sinner, hi. Yes, hello, welcome. It is our final Games for Wave stream of the World Ocean Day Festival, and it's gone so fast. And as most of you know, my name is Sally. I'm part of the Games for Waves team at Whale and Dolphin Conservation, and today we have a very special guest. We have Pina from WDC.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do for
Yes, my
WDC?
name is Pina. I work as Marine Pollution Coordinator for WDC. I'm with Sally, but in a different department. I mainly argue with government about what they should be doing in terms of helping and conserving whales and dolphins and the environment that they live in.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And we have Pina on because, as you all know, one of the main project that we're hoping to fund through our World Ocean Day fundraising this year is all about ghost gear, which is lost and abandoned or discarded fishing gear. And Pina's going to be leading on that project. So this is a great opportunity to ask Pina about ghost gear, marine pollution in general. That's her whole bit. You know, chemical, noise, plastic, ghost gear, anything else
Anything.
that's considered pollution.
Pollution.
Yes. Yeah, Pina does all of those things for WDC and will be leading on the Ghost Gear project. So yeah, do feel free to ask questions in the chat about anything and, you know, ask Pina about her. What's your favourite whale and dolphin? All those kinds of nice things. So yeah, everyone's saying hello in the chat, which is lovely. And yeah, so World Ocean Day, it is ending tomorrow at 6 p.m. BST. The Steam sale is still live, so you can still grab all your favourite games that are in the sale. Huge discounts, all pledging a percentage of their net revenue to WDC, which is amazing. And you can still sign up to stream and fundraise for WDC, or just hang out in people's streams, say hi, give everyone some love and some support. It's been amazing. I think I saw Matt posted earlier in the chat that we're nearly, very nearly at 3,982 pounds raised so far. £17.50 away from the goal. So let's hope we'll smash that and more over the next kind of 2 days. Very exciting. And yes, today we're going to be playing one of the games from the Steam sale. It's a game I've had my eye on personally for quite a while. It's called NAIAD. And it's like a really cute, I don't really know too much about it. I've tried not to learn too much about it to keep it a surprise, but it looks super sweet, super cute. The artwork looks amazing. The trailer showed very nice music. So yeah, I will be playing whilst Pina will be answering questions about marine pollution. And yeah, that's what today's stream's all about. So let's get to it.
Start.
Yes, I need to unmute. Let me unmute. And let me know how the sound is. It's very quiet. Let me get in the game. There we go. It's very quiet menu music at the moment, but I did turn it down, so let me turn it. Yeah, and yeah, there we go. The essence that was born when the rain kissed the rock. Oh, sorry. Right, so we're kind of in the game now, so let me know how the sound is. It's still like quite chill, like rain music. Can't hear us over the sound. Whoops. Like how, like we're muted? Drop down the desktop.
Is this better?
Try now. I dropped it down. I can drop the game music down too. That's better. Okay, cool. Let me know if you want us to be louder.
Okay.
So pretty.
Are you moving then?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea.
That's fine. I chose this game because I think it's going to be quite a nice, like, one to watch as well.
Very soothing.
Yes. Oh, and it's kind of like, I think a lot of it's going to be, it kind of gave me sort of like Abzu vibes in terms of like, you don't really get given an objective, you just kind of go and everything unfolds around you, like environmental storytelling, which I thought would be quite nice for a chill Wednesday afternoon stream when we're going to be mostly chatting about whales and dolphins. So, but yeah, Pina, do you want to... Oh, so we've got... What are the main types of pollution? Oh, we just hit... Okay, so many things just happened.
Oh my god.
So we just hit our £4,000 goal.
Amazing. Fabulous, guys.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, that is incredible. That is super, super amazing. But the first question we have is, what are the main types of pollution in the ocean?
Oh, okay. Right, so we have plastic pollution that probably everybody heard of because they've watched Ocean or the... what was the other BBC program called?
Blue Planet?
Blue Planet, thank you very much. The Blue Planet series. There was lots of plastic pollution in the ocean. We have chemical pollution, we have noise pollution, we have chemical plastic, noise.
Ghost gear.
And then, yeah, ghost gear is one type of plastic pollution, and I'm going to talk about ghost gear today a little bit more. You're probably all going to be bored by the end of it going ghost gear, oh yes.
So I just found a little cloud, and they're saying that our name is NAIAD, which means to flow.
NAIAD.
Lovely. The time has come. Here begins your great journey. Oh! We've been set free.
Have you been sucked down that? What?
It's like, don't be afraid. I will take care of you from the sky. Oh. The wind whispers nectar for butterflies. Interesting. Let's go. And then I just saw, so High Warp, who are the developer of this game, just jumped in the chat. They said, hi Sally and Pina, so nice to meet you and be here watching you play NAIAD. Really happy to learn more about marine pollution. So we've got the creator of the game with it in the audience too, which is amazing. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, where have you gone? Okay.
There we are. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's so nice. I like the colors. I like that they're slightly muted and not so in your face. I think it's nice.
Yeah, hold A to dive. Oh yeah, you can go further. Oh, I'm fast.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So you can go under the logs. And you can sing. We've got a little fish. Beautiful.
What happens when you sing?
I don't know. I think it attracted this little fishy. Oh, excuse the loud motorbikes outside. We do get them in the afternoon. Yeah. Oh, it's cool to have High Warp in the chat because it'd be great to ask them questions about how they made this game. It's amazing. Oh, look at the little duck.
The duckling.
We need to save the duck and get him to his mum.
Yes, maybe that's a good idea.
Come this way.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Come on, ducky. Oh, Gabby's asked, can Pina talk about what is ghost gear and how does it come to be and why is it such a threat?
Right, ghost gear. Ghost gear is basically any type of fishing gear that is lost or abandoned and not under the control of the fisher anymore. So if the fisher doesn't know where his gear is, for example, if he's lost it. Sometimes we have something that's called gear conflict, where we have two different types of gear. For example, creels or pots, like you need to think baskets on the seafloor with which we want to catch crabs or lobster, for example. And they're put on the seafloor and left there for maybe a day or two, and then they're hauled back up. And sometimes when they're left on the seafloor, a trawler might come through with a big net, and they trawl on the seafloor and they take everything that's on the seafloor away, and that might include ghost gear. So it can get lost that way. It can get lost in storm. It can get lost with the currents. Big trawlers, for example, when they trawl a net behind them, it might snag or get caught on big rocks on the seafloor or on corals, on reefs. You never know, and that way they lose it. Sometimes they abandon it on purpose because they might be in areas where they're not supposed to fish, and so maybe a police boat comes past, and so they leave it there and don't take it out of the water and take it with them. So there are different ways of losing, abandoning, getting rid of fishing gear in the sea. And it's a threat because it will keep on fishing. Any fishing gear is made to fish, to catch fish and lobsters and crabs. So if we leave it there, it will keep on doing that until we take it out. And that's why it's a threat, because it also will catch whales and dolphins if they are unlucky and can't get out of the way or cannot see the fishing gear. Anything else that I might want to talk?
I mean, I think one of the challenges with ghost gear is that fishers themselves aren't the problem. They don't want to lose their gear.
Exactly.
It's expensive kit for them to lose and replace all the time. So they do their utmost best to try and keep their gear in good working order and making sure they're collecting it and looking after it. So it's a big thing for them that they want to keep it and not lose it.
Yeah.
And so
it's expensive. If you think that one creel fisher, so the ones that fish for crabs and lobsters, for example, they might have anything between 200 and maybe 800 of those pots, of those baskets that they put on the seafloor. They don't put them all down at the same time and not all down on the same spot, but to have that amount of gear is expensive. And if you want to replace one of those baskets, one of those creels, we're looking in the region between probably 75 to 150 pounds per creel. So if you think they have a lot, that's expensive gear. So they don't want to lose it, and they will take care to keep it and retrieve it if they don't know where to put it, where it went after a storm, for example. They will go looking for it. Obviously, there are ways of making sure that you don't lose it. You can put little tags on them that will tell you where they are, but those tags are expensive as well. So they would give you a ping. You can ask, where's my gear? It's kind of like a GPS on your phone, for example. When you don't know where your phone is, you could do that for the gear as well, but they're not very cheap to put on. So it's probably not used as much as we would like it to be used, and therefore it's hard. But the fishers definitely are not to blame for ghost gear necessarily. Not all of them. Definitely not.
And it's kind of like some of the barriers that are there stopping fishers from being able to help as well. Because I remember you shared an anecdote with the fisher who found a big mess of nets, but they had a quote for a crane to come out, and he would have had to have taken the cost. Yeah,
so the problem is if fishers find lost gear in the sea whilst they are fishing, they obviously don't want it to be there, because that fishing gear is fishing fish that they might want to fish, and it's obviously a threat to other marine wildlife, and it can break down, and it's just horrible. So fishers don't want ghost gear in the sea, so they would bring it home if they can. But if it's a big net, like a trawl net. And when I talk about trawl nets, you need to think about a trawl net has an opening that can take houses inside. It's so humongous that
huge.
you don't see where it starts and where it ends. And they're massive, they're big, humongous. And if you want to take that out of the sea, you need to have a crane. And if you want to, they might have a crane on board their boat to get it out of the water onto their boat, but they won't have the ability to get the collected net off their boat into the harbor. So they would have to rent a crane, and that can cost in the regions of £3,000, and that would be on the fisher who brings back that retrieved net. And so, yeah, we have an anecdote of a fisher who said, I could bring this back. I have the capacity on my boat, but I won't be able to lift it into the harbor without renting the crane, and it's too much money, and this money I don't have. So it stayed where it was, and the fisher was quite annoyed and sad at the same time because he wanted to help, but he said, I cannot afford to help because it's too expensive. So it's difficult what to do with ghost gear when you find it. And I'm sure if fishers had the ability to get rid of any gear that they find in the sea whilst they are fishing, if they could get rid of it in the harbor for free, they would definitely bring it back. And there are some projects around the country. It's called Fishing for Litter, where it's another organization who gives, it's like big rubble bags, like those big, I don't know, cubic meter bags that you can, and they give them to the fishers, and the fishers can fill that up with any rubbish that they fish out whilst they're fishing. And that rubbish would include anything from plastic bottles to fishing gear that isn't theirs. And so they can get rid of it on land for free, and that's great. But we don't have enough harbors and enough fishers that participate in this at the moment. So that's something we're working towards, to get more participation and more funding for that type of thing, because it's really great if it's not on the fisher to foot the bill, basically. Yeah. Zion Real says thousands just to rent a crane. You can understand why people don't want to bring it back. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a problem if it costs the fisher. It would be almost like me doing a litter pick in a park and then having to pay to get rid of it in a bin, to recycle it, or put it in a bin, and then I wouldn't have the incentive to do the litter pick in the first place, I think. Oh, you've accumulated more ducks.
Yeah, I'm trying to deliver this. There we go. He's found his mummy.
Ah,
So
ducks.
sweet.
That's really nice.
Have we talked a bit about kind of what is the direct threat ghost gear has on whales and dolphins?
Oh yeah, no, we haven't. So ghost gear, it obviously depends on what type of gear it is, but for example, a gill net is a very fine net made of nylon, and if they just drift around and a whale and dolphin might get entangled in it, they can't come up to the surface and breathe. So they would suffocate, for example. Sometimes ghost gear can be just wrapped around parts of a whale or dolphin's body and make it really hard for them to move about. So they exert more energy, and then they can't make up that energy. So they will, in the end, they will die because they use too much energy, and they might not be able to feed themselves properly because they can't dive, because they're lugging this gear behind them. We've had quite a few occasions where whales stranded with lots of fishing gear in their stomachs, so they clearly ate the gear. We had ropes and pieces of nets in the stomachs, and it clogs up the stomach and makes the whale feel full, so they won't eat what they're actually supposed to be eating. That would actually give them nutrition, and so they die because they starve to death, or they don't get enough nutrients and the body just gives up in the end. So there are lots of problems with ghost gear for whales and dolphins. It's definitely not a thing we want to have anywhere near them. Sing for the flowers. Oh, that's so nice. And you accumulate fish as well.
Yeah.
There's another duck.
I-
Oh, that's the duck that you just left.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For the Vosu stream, is there one key message? Oh, I think Zan had something. Thousands. So can we hear a little bit about what the project that we're funding will be with Ghost Fishing UK?
So yeah, Ghost Fishing UK is a small organization made up of divers who are trained to retrieve gear, fishing gear, lost fishing gear, ghost gear during their dives. So they scout out where fishing gear might be accumulating, namely, for example, around wrecks where divers go and dive. And then they go down and retrieve the gear. And it sounds as if it's really easy to do that, but if you think that those nets and pods, they're big and they weigh quite a bit, and you need to know what to do so that you don't get entangled yourself. So it's quite a difficult operation to do. And so we've geared up with them, and they want to go on 10 retrieval missions for us.
It's basically a whole year's work for them.
Exactly, that's basically a whole year's work. They do probably one retrieval mission a month or every 2 months. And so they know where some of the ghost gear is already because they've scouted that out, but they also get information from other divers from the public, and they will go and retrieve that gear for us. So they will dive down to the depths, they will cut the gear loose if it's completely entangled, they will bring it up to the surface, they will bring it into their boat, they will release any wildlife that is still alive in the nets, because a lot of time there are crabs and fish entangled that then can be released. They make a note of that as well, so we know how many different species and how many different individuals will be entangled. It's not necessarily whales and dolphins, but also fish and crabs and lobsters. And then they make a note of what type of fishing gear they have retrieved and how much its weight, or how long the ropes were, for example. And all that information we can use to then build a picture of how big the problem is actually, and take that to the government as well.
I think one thing, because I actually went down to kind of meet them when they were like returning from one of their dives, and they showed me what they'd picked out of the sea that day, and it was like a whole trailer full. And there's even stuff in there that's like homemade fishing gear.
Oh yeah.
And so there are these like winkle catchers that are like 5-gallon plastic jugs that have been cut in half, and then like netting sewn along the top to make like a purse string like topping, and then a concrete base poured in, and they used to catch winkles. And that's entirely homemade, so like not standard kit, and like multiple different types of material.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems, that fishing gear is made up of lots of different materials and lots of different plastics, so polymers, and that makes it really hard to recycle or to do something at the end of its life. And when it's homemade, it's even worse, because they use things that shouldn't be used together probably. You said they had concrete on the bottom, and then like an old bottle that they cut up, and then a little bit of netting around it, and probably rubber bits here and there. And to be able to recycle this, you need to take it apart in all their different components. And that's the same for any type of fishing gear, even the commercial fishing gear. So if you have a trawl net, for example, you'll have high density polyethylene, you'll have nylon, you'll have polypropylene, you'll have some metals in terms of weights. They need to weigh a lot. You have rubber, and all of that needs to be taken apart. So you need somebody at the end of the life who knows how the fishing gear is made up, to take it back to its different components, to then say, okay, we can recycle all the different components, because all the different components would be recyclable. So it's not you can't do anything with fishing gear at the end of its life. It's just that it's really difficult and nobody has figured out how best to do it yet, I think.
Yeah. Trying to get this frog on a lily pad and it's not.
Oh. How do you know what you need to do?
There we go.
There you go.
He's got like sing underneath it, but sometimes he prefers to rock. Look at that. Magical frog circle.
That's so sweet.
And one thing as well that I thought was really amazing about what this organisation that we're going to be funding do is that they sort through all the gear that they collect, and anything that's still usable, they basically kind of announce to the local network of fishers in that area, hey, this kind of gear is going, do you want it? And most times people will come down and take what they can, because like we said earlier, fishing gear is very expensive.
Yeah.
So to come up with some kind of used but usable gear is really helpful.
Yeah, I
for the
mean,
fishers
I've
themselves.
spoken to a fisher who is a creel fisher up in Scotland, and he says he would advertise his old gear that he deems not usable anymore, and people will come and use it still, and would buy it off him basically, so he can buy new gear or newer gear. But yeah, if there's gear, if gear is retrieved that is still in good nick, somebody will come and take it and use it if it's advertised for going free. So yeah, they don't need to always recycle everything straight away, I guess. And there are other smaller projects who will then use the gear that Ghost Fishing UK has retrieved during their missions to then make new things out of them. So that's another way of recycling, rather than using old nylon to then make nylon again and recycle the nylon. You can use it to create something different, something new. You can make storm boards, for example, where lots of different plastic types are pressed together, and then you use those big boards and you make garden furniture out of it, or plant pots and things. So there are different ways of recycling, which are all useful and great, and we probably need more of that in the UK.
Yeah, sure. Let's go down here. Yes, I'll just get into that. So yeah, Compassionate Cannon, he says, for those of us who stream, is there one key message about pollution that you'd like them to share with their audiences, or perhaps a clear action they can take?
A clear action. Everybody can help, even if you don't live by the sea. So what I always say is a lot of ways lead to the sea, and even anything that we drop, any litter that we drop here in parks and cities and towns, could make its way to the sea, because we have rivers, we have storm drains, and it could end up in the sea. So litter picking in parks and towns and cities is always really helpful, and that's something that everybody can do. Even though you might say, oh, but I'm so far away from the sea. It definitely cannot make its way into a river and therefore make its way into an ocean if you litter pick it before and dispose of it correctly. That would be the first thing. So litter picking is great. Knowing different types of plastic and what to do with it. So when I go shopping, my weekly food shop, and I look on the punnet of strawberries, for example, most of them now have information on how to dispose of it, if you can recycle it, or if it's not recyclable through your home recycling, or you need to bring it to a bigger store, for example, if it's softer plastic. So I always make sure that I check my recycling, my waste, if it can be recycled or if I need to do something else with it. So that's helpful if you do know what to do, and then put it in the correct bin. And then things like thinking about the things that you buy in the first place. Do you need to buy one small bottle of shampoo, for example? Could you buy the biggest bottle you can find? So buy in bulk, or can you buy a shampoo bar, for example, that doesn't even need a bottle, so you save on having a plastic bottle. Things like that are good as well. So buy in bulk, buy plastic free, buy loose fruit and veg. Sometimes not everybody can afford that, And I find it really annoying because sometimes in the supermarkets, the loose stuff costs more than the
Yeah,
packaged stuff.
that really irritates
Yeah,
me because
that-
like and I think that's the one thing to be mindful of is like do what you can within your means.
Yes.
Don't feel guilty about not being able to do everything. One small step is still really helpful. So like I remember when I 'cause one of the things that got me really fascinated and passionate about ocean conservation was I watched the documentary called A Plastic Ocean, and it just like blew my mind with how terrible the plastic situation was, and I really didn't have any idea at the time. And I became like obsessed with the idea that I had to be 100% plastic free, but I kind of got really stressed out trying to do it because there's just not enough resources available for your everyday person to shop 100% plastic free without breaking the bank. And it got to a point where you just had to accept you got to do what you can, but ultimately don't go out of your way or drain all of your finances just to buy, because a lot of the times it's like those premium kind of farm shops that do all the loose stuff and the refills and things, and it's not affordable for some people.
It's really expensive, and also you don't need to change everything overnight. It's like one little thing, one step at a time. Like, for example, you could say, I'm not using any plastic bags anymore from the shops.
Yeah.
So I made sure, I retrained my brain, and I made sure that I had a plastic bag, not a plastic bag, a reusable bag in every pocket, in every bag, when I go shopping in the car, so I didn't have to buy plastic bags. That was the first thing, and I don't use plastic bags. And if I now forget my bag and I just load up on shopping, I refuse to buy bags.
Yeah. It also helps save money because then you can only buy as much as you can carry.
Exactly.
Happens to me a lot.
Yes, exactly. But that's the first thing. And then I tend to use all the plastic utensils and plastic things that I have until they break. So rather than buying a new bowl, for example, to make cake or something, I have a plastic bowl and I will not replace that until it's broken. And then I can replace it with something that's non-plastic, for example, with a metal one or a glass one. So that's something I do. Use it as long as you can, and then when it's at its end of its life, dispose of it correctly and buy something that's more environmentally friendly. Same with bottles. If you have a plastic bottle that you drink out of, use it until it's at its end of its life, and then replace it with, for example, either a glass bottle or a stainless steel bottle, a double-walled bottle. There are so many amazing things out there. So that would be, what I would say to people. And don't get stressed about it. Do as much as you can, but not too much in one go. Do one thing at a time. Reminder of Cannon's question.
Oh, Cannon's question was, what's the key message?
Oh, that's the one that we just done.
And then Scouter asked, what's your favourite ocean animal?
What's my favourite ocean animal? I really love harbour porpoises. They get overlooked. They're tiny and they always fall off the bandwagon, really. We say whales and dolphins, but it should always be whales, dolphins and porpoises. So harbour porpoises are great. They're small. We have them in UK waters, so if you're lucky, you can see them from the shore even. You don't have to be on a boat. They're just cute. They're different.
They're very shy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're shy animals. You won't see them in big groups like you would see at bottlenose dolphins or common dolphins, for example. They have a little triangular dorsal fin, really dark. And when you see them surface, they look like the dorsal fin is on a little wheel. They go round in circles. It goes like this.
Aww.
It's really, they just look like they're wheeling around. And then in Scotland they're called puffer pigs, because they make this weird puffing sound when they come up for air, and that's very distinct. And they have like a snub nose, not a beak like you would know from a dolphin. They have this little snub nose, and I like them a lot. They're really cute. So I think they're my favorite.
I've lost the secret entrance that I had. I wanted to do the frog puzzle.
I didn't pay attention.
There's like a secret somewhere. I'll find it.
Oh.
Where was it? Oh, here we go.
Ah, there you go. Oh,
This is such a
the
chill
things
game.
on land as well. There was a rabbit there.
Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Cute. Oh. Zion says that he's been on his ocean reading this week and looked at leatherback turtles and had no idea that they were so big.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it, what's that called? Like ocean gigantism or something? It's like because of the way that gravity is in the ocean, things are can get bigger because they're supported by the water, right?
And because it's cold, you know, the ocean, in a lot of places, the ocean is really cold. So you want to grow big to support your body, you know. So I think that's why whales are so big, because they're swimming in the coldest waters. You wouldn't be able to survive if you didn't have lots of blubber, but to be able to have that much blubber, you have to have some size as well.
Oh, Savage has joined. Hi, Savage. And Presdove's joined.
I have reusable shopping bags everywhere too. Brilliant. Yes. Fantastic.
That's what we need. Yeah, I don't think I've bought a shopping bag in a long time. And when I do buy one, it's a canvas or like a tote bag.
Yeah, exactly. I have so many bags everywhere. Yeah, we have bags. Bags and bags in the car. Yeah. What I also do is I'm going to the extremes now because I've done this for a long time. So I don't buy body products anymore. I try to make my own body butter and deodorants, but not everybody has the time or wants to do that. But I quite like my little witchcraft in the kitchen and mixing together different types of
I did a bit of that, and then I kind of ran out. I lost the patience to have the time to do it. Yeah. But I buy like plastic-free stuff from the store, like Wild deodorant.
Yes, exactly.
They do like refills, and my two kind of like luxuries that I allow myself with the limited budget that I have is I do refillable shampoo and conditioner at my local farm shop. And the farm shop also does really delicious loose tea.
Oh yeah.
And so instead of buying like tea bags, I just get loose tea and I have a teapot. So
That's
I do
really
like
good.
traditional tea every morning. It's like part of my nice morning rituals. I wake up and put a pot of tea on.
Yeah, that's really good.
But it is more expensive than like if you just buy normal tea bags.
Tea bags, yeah.
I feel like I can give myself, some luxuries in life. And it's really nice tasting tea. It's just like, black tea to make builder's tea in, but it's what are those on the tree? Oh, birds. I thought they were ghosts. They were see-through. I was thinking like some sort of forest spirits or something.
Freezing. What's freezing?
Oh, I think the little cloud guy is doing like hide and seek with me. And so it's like getting warmer, colder kind of thing. I need to find like a secret.
Refill shower gel is very good as well. Gabby, yes. Yeah, they moved on. Yeah, we don't have a body shop here anymore either. It's quite annoying. You love that I called it witchcraft. Yes, I like my little bit of witchcraft. Where do I learn more about how to recycle better? Well, if you look on the things that you buy, they should have information on how to recycle it. So either it says recycle at home, which means you should be able to put it into the blue lidded bin, Or if you live in an area where they don't have bins, you should have.
And this is specifically
bag.
UK you're talking about.
Yeah,
We do have some North Americans.
Exactly.
Europeans,
That's the tricky bit. Now I know what and even in the UK, it's different from county to county. So where I live, we have a box for glass, and we have a big bin with a blue lid for paper, cardboard, tins and cans, and plastic, but only the hard plastic. And then some of the soft plastic is recycled at bigger like stores. So it should tell you on the packaging that you're buying how to recycle it, but I'm not sure what it is like in the US, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't know if it might be like, for us it's different in every county, it could be different in every US state, it could be different in every Canadian province.
It probably is, because they all have different
governing bodies.
Different governing, yeah, exactly. So you might have to get in touch with, do they have local councils in the US?
I think so.
Maybe with the company that collects the waste, and see what different types of recycling they could do, or they are doing, and making sure that you have the information from them.
Depending on where you live in the US.
Yeah, it really depends. Ooh, I make my own soap bars. That's amazing. I haven't tried soap yet. I think that's something I'm shying away from yet. Maybe at some point.
Right, I've got a little duckling.
Oh, you need to find Mum?
Yes. I've lost him. Well, the river just branched off into two. I don't really know. I've got all these birds following me too now. It's all happening.
What do you have to do with the birds? You don't know yet.
I don't know. I put the frogs on the lily pads, so they're all happy now. And then, oh, maybe I was going the right way. Oh, but there's a fish here. Oh, look at these. Hi.
Sweet. Oh, that's so nice.
Okay, I was going the right way. Let's go rescue the duck. Gabby says with the talk of various household products, perhaps we can touch on chemical pollution.
Chemical pollution, yeah. Problem of chemical pollution is that it's everywhere. It's coming from everywhere. And if you think about what household products we use and probably have in every household, there are chemicals going down our drains all the time. And it's really, really hard to get around that somehow. And even the clothes that we're wearing, if we're wearing waterproof clothes or clothes that are made stain resistance and things like that, they will have chemicals that then can get into the environment when we wash our clothes, because obviously the water from the washing machine has to go somewhere as well. So chemical pollution is everywhere and coming from everywhere. It's tricky. We can try to use less chemicals, less harsh chemicals in our household products, like bleach, for example, or all these drain cleaners and stuff. I'm sure there are quite a few more natural things that can be used, like vinegar and lemon juice and bicarbonate of soda, that kind of thing. So yeah, chemicals. And obviously if we have it in the rivers and our fresh water, it will end up in the sea. And just because the sea is big, it doesn't mean that the chemicals will be diluted, because there are loads going in, and plastic in the sea will actually attract the chemicals to it. So if we have big pieces of plastic, the macroplastics, they can break down into smaller and smaller plastics until we have such small plastics that you might not be able to see them with the naked eye. We call them microplastics or even nanoplastics. and they attract chemicals from the seawater. And then if you think about the fact that whales and dolphins eat plastic, for example, the filter feeders like humpback whales or fin whales, they filter feed the water to filter out all the small little prey items that they eat, that they sustain themselves with. They also filter out microplastics and eat the microplastics. And if those microplastics are full of chemicals, they will then be in the whale. The whale might not actually digest the microplastic, so it might just pass through the whale, but the chemicals will diffuse into the whale, and that can't be good. We don't have enough information yet to know what happens when a whale eats a lot of microplastics, and what the chemicals do exactly in the whale, but it cannot be good. And what we do know so far is there are some chemicals we call forever chemicals, because they just don't break down in the environment, and they accumulate in wildlife, in us. And the more you've got of those chemicals in your body, the more it has an effect on your well-being and also on the whale's well-being. For example, there are chemicals that will cause cancers, that suppress your immune system, so you're more prone to infections. And that's the same for whales and dolphins. So bug-bear chemicals are something called PCBs, and they were actually banned in the 1980s worldwide. And you can still find them in whales and dolphins in very, very high concentrations. And we had a whale strand. It was an orca in Scotland, and she actually got entangled in fishing gear and stranded and unfortunately died. She was her name was Lulu, and she was part of the Scottish community, the Scottish West Coast community of orcas. And because that group was already very small, they said, okay, we're going to have a look at Lulu, what's going on in her body after she died on the beach. And they did a necropsy. It's an autopsy for an animal, where they took some tissue samples and looked at her chemical burden, and they found that she had over 100 times higher PCB burden than what is deemed okay or not dangerous. And then they looked at her ovaries, and they were just a gray mass. They looked like they hadn't developed. They definitely never functioned properly. They could also see that she never was pregnant, that she wasn't able to become pregnant because her ovaries were so messed up. So they think that this PCB burden really messed up with her whole system. And so and she's only one of the orcas from this community, and they haven't, this orca community hasn't had a calf in over 20 years now. So the chemical burden is so high that they cannot reproduce anymore, and that orca community is gonna die out. We have 2 members left now, and they are both male. So we will not have them for much longer, and that's down to the chemical burden they have, and that those are chemicals that were banned a long time ago. And now we have new chemicals coming up, which are called PFAS, and we use them in waterproofing and coating that makes it stain resistant and things like that. And they are everywhere already. They are in the environment, they're in me, in you, in everything we touch, and our drinking water. And the only way to alleviate the problem with chemicals is to stop using so much of them. So we're asking, so WDC is campaigning towards trying to get PFAS banned from all the unnecessary places and things that they are used in. In some things you will not be able to take them away, because that's the only thing that will make it work. But sometimes they are used in things where it's unnecessary, stain resistant clothing, for example. I don't want PFAS on my body or on my child's body just to make the school uniform
I
stain
think
resistant.
kind of a lot of this development is an unnecessary need of a convenience over
Yes.
anything else. And if we could all just slow down and spend a little extra time doing things that will be healthier for everyone, not just the ocean. But it's not to say that, that these chemicals and these plastics do have useful applications in the right places, like plastics in
Absolutely.
hospital settings.
Absolutely. Now, there are definitely applications where we wouldn't want to ban plastics or PFAS, but you need to think, is this necessary?
Yeah.
Can I use something different that's not made of plastic that has the same uses or the same life almost,
So Compassionate says, I feel so uncomfortable
yeah.
at clothes that might release microplastics or chemicals with washing. I'm trying to use everything I have as much as possible so that these things don't end up in landfill, but then I don't want to make the situation worse each time I wash these items.
What you can do is make sure that either your washing machine has a filter, which you can retrospectively fit. The newer washing machines, they all start to have filters for microplastics, for example, and microfibers. But you can also use a bag, a washing bag, that you put your plastic clothes, and you don't have to put your
Cotton and linen.
And wool in there, for example. But if you have, for example, a fleece, you would put it in the bag, and it will filter. It's so finely meshed that you won't that it won't lose let the plastic pieces through, basically, and then you can collect that and put it in the bin.
Yeah, I've got one of those bags and it's really helpful. And
I've got 3.
so especially sports gear, so all of my gym clothes and stuff is that kind of moisture wicking polyester. You can just feel that it's not made from, it's synthetic. But then there are other fabrics that you wouldn't, that feel so natural, and then you look at the label and it's like 100% polyester. It's like, whoa, okay. So it's like you look at the labels, separate out your clothes, and if you have one of those bags, put all those clothes in the bag. And so so all my bed sheets and stuff, which is cotton, and all my natural fibre clothing just goes straight into the washing machine, and then everything else is in the bag that goes with it. One thing I have found is if you do just a 100% bagged wash, it's like a big clump and it flings itself around the drum of the
that's sometimes a bit problematic.
So I always do it mixed.
One.
That's why I always do it mixed, so that it's kind of cushioned by the rest of stuff. So Scout, so there are these bags that are microfiber plastic filtering bags. So you put synthetic clothing in the bag, you zip it up, and it's like a really fine mesh, so the water can still get through to wash the clothes inside the bag, but any microfiber plastics that come off the clothing stays in the bag. And then I don't know how they've done it, but it always kind of ends up stuffed into one of the corners
on the top. Exactly. I don't know.
So along the zip line, you undo the zip and you open up one of the corners. It's like a little. It looks like just dark lint, but that's the microfibers. But it takes a while to accumulate enough to throw away.
But it does work. Yeah. It definitely works. Or you can buy a filter that you can fit to your washing machine outlet, basically, that will filter the water before it goes down your drain, basically.
Oh, we've got some pollution here.
Oh no.
I think.
That's like oil pollution.
Use sound to keep the darkness. Oh, it's like evil. I wish we could sing the pollution away. That would be lovely.
Oh, that would be amazing. What do you do with the fibers? Are they recyclable? No, they probably aren't recyclable because there are too many different types of fibers. So you might have polyester fibers, but you might have different types of plastic fibers as well. And to separate them is impossible. So you put them in the bin, unfortunately. What you can do as well for...
Oh, we just got a raid. So one of our community has just finished their stream and then sent all their audience to us. Hi,
amazing.
Thank you for joining. For those of you joining our stream, we're playing NAIAD today, which is a cute, cozy water game. And my name is Sally. I am from WDC or Whale and Dolphin Conservation's Games for Waves team, and today we are joined with Pina, who
Hello.
is our Marine Pollution Coordinator at WDC. So all the work she does for the organisation is all about trying to solve the challenges and problems of pollution in the ocean. And Flynn has been streaming and fundraising for us for World Ocean Day.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's so cute.
I like the little bat that you had there.
One question I had about kind of, is it easy to know which clothes are made of plastic and which are not? Because like polyester, but are there other ones to look out
Anything
for?
made of nylon, rayon is a plastic type.
Is viscose a plastic?
You can have natural viscose and you can have plastic viscose, so
Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
tell you half the time. So it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Fleece, sometimes it says it's cotton, it's made of cotton, so it's not necessarily plastic.
Oh, okay. I always assumed all fleeces was plastic.
No, I've seen cotton fleece material to make my own clothes.
Oh,
So it doesn't need to be made of plastic.
interesting.
What you can also do is buy your clothes secondhand. So they've already been washed quite a few times. So you definitely shed less than when you buy new clothes.
Yeah.
Or look for natural fibers. You can do, I mean, it's quite expensive. And if you're vegan, then it doesn't work. But merino wool, for example, is amazing for keeping you cool or warm, depending of the season. But that doesn't work if you're vegan. So for vegan people, I would go to your local secondhand store and see if you find something that's already been used and washed and loved. Pre-loved is quite good there.
And that's some great. I think I know in the UK, Vinted is really popular.
Yes,
as a
that too, exactly.
second-hand clothing app. My only issue with Vinted is that it's really hard. You can't really return stuff. So you it's a one-way system. But purchase
Another thing is going to car boot sales. In the UK, we're great on car boot sales where people come together on a big field and they sell out of the boot of their car and blankets on the ground basically, and you can get super good bargains there.
Yeah, charity shops as well.
Charity shops. Yeah, I think the UK is quite good on secondhand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know what it's like in other countries in terms of second-hand charity shops and things like that. I think it's quite a cultural thing as well to give away second-hand things.
Yeah.
I remember when I was living in Japan, I don't think I ever saw a charity shop anywhere. It's just like not really a thing.
Yeah. In Germany, there are not a lot of charity shops. They have second-hand shops, but they are not charity shops. So the second-hand shops are quite expensive because they're most of the time vintage clothes,
right?
Old-fashioned clothes, and they're more expensive.
But Germany does do the bottle return scheme.
They do, yes, indeed. Well, which
we hope to have
the
in the
UK is working. The UK is working towards. Yeah, the bottle deposit return scheme is another thing to keep bottles out of the waste stream as such, because you buy a plastic, but like you buy a bottle of Coke, for example, and you pay a deposit of, I don't know, in Germany it's probably anything between 10 and 20 cent, so 15 pence maybe, and you drink your bottle and then you return the bottle to that store or to a different store. They all are part of the return scheme, and you get your money back, or you just use that money for the next bottle that you buy. And where my mother lives, for example, they have she goes and buys her drinks in a drink store, but it's anything from soft drinks to beer, you can buy wine, but the wine bottles don't have a deposit.
Right.
They are all made of glass and they go into the glass bins for recycling. But all of the beer bottles, for example, they all have a deposit on it. And so she buys a big, it's like a basket of, I don't know, 12 cans of beer or 12 bottles of beer, and she'll pay a deposit between 5 and 15 cents per bottle. And then when she comes back, she gets that deposit back directly. It's really easy, and the vending, the reverse vending machine.
It looks like a vending machine. So I remember when me and Gabby were at TwitchCon in Rotterdam the other weekend.
They do it too.
Yeah, I remember we went to a supermarket, and just by the exit they had a bottle return scheme like machine, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's really easy once you know what to do, and it works well, and it keeps the bottles out of the environment because they actually were something. So when it all started, people would leave their bottles and not return them because they didn't think about it, and then other people would collect them and get the money. You know.
Yeah, it's really cool. Compassionate says, that's good to know. I've been using secondhand clothes for years. Good to know they would have shed a lot of fibres before they came to me.
Yes.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
I know there's a one kind of pollution we haven't really spoken about much. Is noise pollution, which is one thing that I guess a lot of people don't tend to think about.
No. Noise is...
You can't see it, can you?
No, and people think that the ocean is quiet.
No, yeah.
You know, when you tend to go underwater, I think our ears are not really made for...
I feel like this level is really loud.
sound.
I'm just going to turn it down a little bit.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
It's like suddenly got really loud.
Yeah, so noise pollution in the ocean is something people don't come across very often, I guess, and then don't understand why it might be a problem for whales and dolphins. So it's just got louder again.
Yeah, let me... Oh, I can't... The mouse is being weird.
I think it does that automatically.
Okay.
How weird. But like this was just like the noise in the, or the music in the background from the video, we said it's too loud. You can't hear what I'm saying, or I can't hear myself saying something. That's the same for in the ocean. So we have in the ocean, we have pollution, noise pollution from shipping, from any kind of industry, like pile driving. When they put new wind parks up, they pile drive into the ocean beds to put the pylons up that then hold the windmills of the wind farm. And that's really loud because you need to think about a massive steel rod that is hammered into the seabed, and hammering is loud. It's like steel on steel, really loudly. Then we have seismic surveys for oil and gas explorations, where you have a boat that tows an array of air guns behind them, and air guns are basically a compressed cylinder of air, and when it's released, it makes a really loud banging sound, and that sound travels through the water column to the seabed, into the seabed, and will be reflected back from different parts, different things in the seabed. So a pocket of air makes a different sound from a pocket of oil or a pocket of gas, or
a bear.
From bear, yeah.
Oh, he can't sleep. There's a loud rumbling sound.
Or from
This is quite a good level to be talking about.
yeah, there's
because
noise.
The noise is stopping the bear from resting.
Yes, so it's disturbing the bear. So there are lots of different noise sources in the sea, which will have an effect on all the wildlife in the sea. And whales and dolphins being species that use noise and communication, so sound as their main communication, any type of noise isn't good for them, because it can mask their communication. It can, oh, this is the problem. And it can make them deaf. So if you go to a rock concert, for example, or you go to a disco and there's super loud music and you're in that environment for some time, and you come outside into the peace and quiet, your ears are ringing and you can't hear properly, and it feels like somebody's stuffed your ears with cotton wool. That happens to whales and dolphins when they hear loud noises in the sea. And they don't really have to, they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah,
It's really
nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it's nowhere to hide. You know, I can go into my room and close the door and say, okay, I need peace and quiet right now. For whales and dolphins, that doesn't really work, because the ocean is noisy, and then you have
Sound travels faster in water than it does in air.
And further, much further. And so it's, yeah, you can't get out of it. So it's bad. Noise pollution is really not nice for whales and dolphins, and it can stress them out. It can make them deaf. It can kill them if it's loud enough. For example, sonar from most of the time military. It's a very, very loud booming sound, and it can startle deep diving whales, and they come up to the surface too quickly. It's the same for divers. When they come up to the surface too quickly, the nitrogen can get into their bloodstream and form little bubbles, and it's like the bends. It's like the diving disease, or the diver's disease, and having those air bubbles in your bloodstream can kill you. And it, first of all, it's really painful, but it actually can kill you, and that can happen to whales and dolphins as well when they come up from the depths too quickly because they've been startled by loud noises. And we've seen quite a few mass strandings happening, for example, in the Mediterranean Sea, where we had deep diving species come up on a beach en masse, like more than 3 or 10 or 15 individuals at a time. And when the scientists looked at their ears, they have ears, you just can't see them, but they have like the innards of their ears, you can still see that. They had injuries to those parts, and that showed that there's something not right. And they also had bubbles in their lungs. So they came up and it popped. There were gas bubbles where they shouldn't have been. So they could say these guys had the bends. They came up too quickly and it killed them. And it's due to loud noises. Yeah. I've heard that sonar has been quite disruptive for whales as well. Yes, sonar is definitely probably one of the most disruptive noises in the ocean. Yes. So Compassionate Cannon says, I recently saw a musical performance using a clarinet to recreate the whale sound, but in the middle they had recordings of anthropogenic ocean noise pollution, and it was absolutely overwhelming. One of the most upsetting things I've experienced. Really powerful way to convey this issue. That's the problem, that if you hear a whale sing, for example, and then you have lots of ocean noise, another whale further away won't be able to hear the whale sing. So the communication between individuals will be cut off. And that means that they can't communicate. They don't know where their spouse, their partner is, for example, or maybe their calf, and they lose touch with each other. And that might mean mom and calf are separated, and calf won't survive that because they're dependent on mom. So yeah, the masking of whale sounds by ocean noise is quite a problem as well. Oh, what's this?
There are 2 snakes I found, and it's scary.
Or eels?
Yeah, well, they're kind of like hissing with their little tongues, so...
Oh, okay.
But I think I need to find one more, because it scares this guy, but not enough. So I need to find more. One thing was, isn't it some speculation that when you get those mass strandings of pilot whales, it could be that they've been disoriented by noise pollution, and pilot whales in particular are susceptible because they're pilot whales. There's that one at the front, the pilot whale that kind of leads the pod, or
Not
no?
not necessarily, but they definitely get disorientated, and not just pilot whales. We had sperm whales, for example, go in wrong directions and come up in areas where they shouldn't be. Sperm whales, pilot whales, they're all deep diving individuals, and they should be in deeper oceans. And if they get into basins, like for example, the North Sea is quite a shallow ocean. It's not very deep, and so it's not the right place for them to be. And then if they come too close to beaches, their own sounds will be reflected back to them, will be echoed back to them. So, and it gets really confusing for them. But if they've been, for example, startled by a loud sound, like sonar, for example, they will already be disorientated and then swim towards the beach, for example, and get stranded on the beach and can't leave. And then all the whole group will follow that one individual and will strand as well. That can happen as well, yes. Gabby is asking what kind of solutions are there to combat noise pollution. To try to keep it down, to keep it quiet. It sounds really, really weird. How do you do that in the ocean? But for example, boats, if you slow down, you will be quieter. So one solution is, in areas where we have lots and lots of whales, you would try to slow down the boats, the tankers, everything, so that it's not as noisy. You can have, for example, for all the industries in the ocean, you can put in noise limits, and to stay within noise limits, they would have to find mitigation measures for whatever they are trying to build. For example, for pile driving, if I want to pile drive one of those big pylons into the seabed, I could put a bubble curtain around. It's essentially a curtain made out of air bubbles, and these air bubbles coming up will diffuse the sound that the hammering is making. So that's one way of doing it. Or using different foundations that make less sound when I put them onto the seabed. Maybe I don't want to pile drive them into the seabed. Maybe I have 4 big, really heavy feet rather than one pylon that I have to hammer in. So there are different ways of trying to keep it down, to trying to reduce the noise that we introduce into the marine environment. Also, light pollution. Is it bad too? Yes. There are places where light pollution is so bad that it will change the ecosystem, because there is not enough night and day. So the ecosystem needs to stay in balance, and if there's too much light pollution, that balance is tipped towards too much light, and then the ecosystem doesn't work very well. For whales and dolphins, I'm not sure if they are prone to light pollution so much, but
I know turtles are. When they hatch on the beach, they tend
exactly,
to
for
head towards
example.
the towns and cities rather
Yeah.
than the beach.
But even if it's not a direct problem for whales and dolphins, it will be a problem for the ecosystem that they are in, because it afflicts the turtles. And then if there are not enough turtles going into the sea, we might have a problem with too much jellyfish, because the turtles don't eat the jellyfish. So you create an imbalance in the ecosystem, and that ultimately will have an effect on whales and dolphins as well.
It's just, the Lion King was right. It's a circle of life.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything is connected. Okay, I'm kind of got a dead end now. I've got all these snakes.
What do you have to do with them? You haven't figured that out yet.
I used them to scare the guy away, and now the bear can sleep. And then he gave me a power to let me sing louder so I can break the rock that was trapping a fish. Oh, I just answered my question. I gotta break a rock, I think. I got the bear gift. He gave me the power to sing loudly.
Bear gift.
Yeah. But I think that, yes. So I didn't notice this rock is breakable. There we go. Let's go. I like my little group. Oh, the snakes are going by. I like them.
The
They're
snakes
cool.
anymore. There you've got your fish.
You kind of forget that there are snakes in water.
Yes, you do.
Oh, so peaceful.
I like the sound. It's very
Chill.
Japanesey, you know. It's like it's really chilled, meditative almost.
Is that all? Yeah. I did like that
You just made that grow more.
Yeah. And the light gets rid of the darkness. It was quite nice timing that as soon as we start talking about noise pollution, we're in quite loud, noise-centric. That looks like a big dinosaur foot, right?
Yeah, and with the noise pollution, if you think that if you're always in a noisy environment, it grinds you down, you know? It's like you can't sleep properly, it stresses you. If you don't sleep, it will ultimately have an effect on your health because you don't sleep. So that's the same for whales and dolphins. If they're always in a noisy environment, it will affect their well-being, their health, just as it would for us. Why does he keep jumping into the water?
I know, he didn't follow me. No! I need to actually find out where I think they need to go on these lily pads. Oh no! It's these ones here. Come. Take a seat. Yeah. There's one over here as well.
So sweet. Where's the last one? There.
Oh, she loves that rock too much. Come on.
No, come on. What do you reckon? Do we find a whale in this game?
Oh, I don't know. Could be a river dolphin.
Could be.
Maybe one more frog. There he is. Let's go. I love them. I like how the two games that I've played for World Ocean Day have featured frogs.
Feature frogs.
Because I love frogs. And that makes me very happy. Oh no, you disturbed them. Get on. Get on.
He's hiding.
Yay, look at them. Okay. Little congregation.
Fabulous.
Oh, just chilling. I love it.
It's very relaxing. Yes. That's what I think. Like.
So Matt's asked, how did you get started at WDC?
That's like a long-winded story. It's not straightforward, to be honest. So when I studied biology, marine biology in Germany, and when I was done with that, I was looking for jobs and realized really quickly that I didn't really have the experience that they were looking for in the jobs that I could be doing. And so I was looking for more like internships and practicals to become more versed in my field of work. And I stumbled across another master's degree in marine mammal science, which was held in Bangor in Wales at the time, So I applied to that master's because I thought, oh, marine mammal science, whales and dolphins, that sounds really good. So I went to Bangor and did this master's degree, and one of our modules was taught by the then director of science from WDC. And so I met him there, and he was one of my teachers. And after I got that master's, I worked in Germany for the German Ministry for the Environment on a recovery plan for harbour porpoise in the North Sea. Therefore, my love for harbour porpoises as well. And it was under an agreement that the UK, but also Germany and other states that have the North Sea as their sea, basically, have signed up to. It's called ASCOBANS. And you have to go to advisory committee meetings for this in this agreement, basically. And one of the observers was WDC and my teacher from back in Wales, so the director of science. So we worked together again on the recovery plan for the harbour porpoise. And when that project came to an end and I was out of work, I met him by chance at a conference for whales and dolphins, and he said, oh, what are you doing now? And I said, well, I'm looking for work. And he said, oh, okay. And then 3 months later he called me and said, oh, we have a solitary dolphin, which means it's a single dolphin, which is weird because dolphins are quite gregarious and they normally live in groups. We have a solitary dolphin in Folkestone, and I want you to go and study this dolphin, look at what she's doing and how she interacts with people. And so I spent basically 6 weeks on a beach in Kent and studied this dolphin. And after I'd done that, he asked me to join WDC as a consultant for 6 months. And after the 6 months were up, I was offered a permanent position, and that's how I got here. And then I worked in different roles. My role wasn't straight away marine pollution. I was first a conservation officer, and then I was a conservation and policy officer. So I used to do lots of field work and collect data on whales and dolphins and whales, for example. We used to do photo ID on the dolphins, where we photograph their dorsal fins because they're all different, so that you can identify individuals and recognize individuals. And we went back every year to see if the dolphins would come back every year, and some of them did, some of them didn't. And so I did lots of field work, and then the data that we gathered, we used to then influence government, for example, to say we need a harbour porpoise protected area in Wales. And then from that role within WDC, I went on to become Marine Pollution Coordinator. And now I'm fully working on marine pollution at the moment. Yeah, thanks, Gabby. Amazing journey. Not straightforward. I don't do straightforward things, by the way.
Prestav's asked quite an interesting question. Do you have any advice for how not to get mentally overwhelmed thinking about environmental issues? It's like eco-anxiety, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I think all of us get overwhelmed once in a while. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to accept that you get overwhelmed. If it's too much, I go into nature and enjoy what's there and what is working. So if you can go into a park and into a meadow, if you can walk along the beach, if you can go in the woods, go and enjoy it. Go forest bathing, calm your mind by looking at the greenery around you and listen to the birds and enjoy that that's actually working, and not focus on the negative all the time. And then do the little bits that you can do as well as you can do them, and don't beat yourself up if you don't have enough money to change everything all at once, for example, or if things are too expensive for you. Do what you can do and enjoy doing those things, and also speak to everybody else about what you're doing so that they know what you're doing and they might join in. That's always a good thing. Talk about the eco-anxiety, I think, is really important. Don't keep it to yourself when you feel low and worried, because that's never a good thing.
You'll find that many other people feel exactly the same, and even if they don't have anything that they can fix it, knowing that other people, that you're not alone in feeling it that way, I think is a big help.
Yeah, and I think, at least I'm hoping that most people would want to try to save the environment and help out. So I want to see the good in people, and so I'm always hopeful. I think that it will get better, and that people will step up to do the right thing. Yeah, don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, and also just kind of change the subject of what you're looking at. You know, I do find it very difficult and stressful when I see like a news heading about, you know, glaciers melting and forest fires and stuff, and I don't look at it. I know it's there, and there's nothing that I can do to do anything about that other than, you know, donate to a cause that's trying to help put the fires out or something. But just don't expose yourself to like the doom and the gloom of everything, because, you know, doom scrolling, it's, you know, like Peter said, go out in nature and actually enjoy it instead of thinking about what's going on,
what's not working
in you know, in California or in Australia or the Arctic, wherever a natural disaster may be happening at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a nest with an egg in it. Cute.
That's so nice.
And also just knowing that there are organisations like WDC and many other environmental and conservation organisations that we exist to try and make things better.
Yeah.
So there are people out there fighting for it. Oh, lots of lily pads.
You need to make space.
See if there's any hidden fishies.
Duckling.
You need to come this way.
Was there a duck? I missed it.
At the base front, yeah.
Whoops.
Put me away.
Oh, there. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I love the music. Compassionate Cannon says, oh, Gabby says you did a lot of field work. Do you have any favourite memories involving whales and dolphins? And Compassionate has just said that they agree, and often take a moment to feel gratitude for all the wonderful people who are trying to make things better, like WDC, and feel their hope return. So
Thank you. Yeah, that's very nice. Favorite memories involving whales and dolphins. We did fieldwork in Wales on a little tiny island called Bardsey Island on Rhesus dolphins and Haberporpoise. Rhesus dolphins are special because they should be an offshore species, so you shouldn't see them close to shore, but around Bardsey they come close to shore. We think it's because the food sources around Bardsey are great, and the conditions to have babies are great too. So we had lots of dolphins with babies, with calves. And And Risso's dolphins look slightly different from your normal bottlenose dolphin. So if you think flipper, that's not a Risso's dolphin. So Risso's dolphins are slightly bigger. They're gray. They have lots and lots of white scratches on their body from fighting with each other. And they have a very, very tall dorsal fin. And so they look slightly different. And they don't have the beak that a bottlenose dolphin would have. They have a blunt forehead and quite a big forehead. And so Risso's dolphins come really close to shore on Bardsey. And we used to take a really small little boat out when we saw dolphins from land. We would go and take this boat out and take some pictures of their dorsal fins. And we had a group of, we couldn't count them in the end, but when I did the photo ID, it was more than 75 dolphins that I actually added to our photo ID catalog on that day. And they were all around the boat, and they came really close to the boat. And I had a camera with a really big lens on it. So you need some distance between you and whatever you want to photograph to be able to photograph it properly. And this dolphin jumped out of the water right next to the boat, basically like 3 meters from the boat. And I was like taking pictures and took a brilliant picture of the dolphin flying through the air, but cut the dorsal fin off. I didn't get it into the picture. So, and that was my main goal, to take pictures of dorsal fins, and I just couldn't fit the whole thing in. Yeah. So that always makes us laugh when we see this picture of this perfect, beautiful jumping dolphin without the dorsal fin in the picture. So that encounter will always stay with me, because they were just all around the boat, jumping, leaping, interacting with each other. We think they were
really playful then.
Yeah, they were super playful. I don't want to humanize them, but they looked like they were having a fantastic time. And then another time when we were on the mainland in Wales, doing whale and dolphin service, and we were watching from a cliff top for harbour porpoises, but the weather kind of turned and there were big swells and too many whitecaps, when it gets really difficult to see small fins when it's too choppy out there on the sea. And so we said, okay, we stop now. The conditions are not great, so we'll stop. And I look down from the cliff. We're about 30 to 40 meters high up. And I see 3 harbour porpoises coming in on a wave and surfing the top of the wave, and coming in until they almost hit the foot of the cliff, and then they dived down, they swam back out and came in on the next wave, and they were basically surfing the waves, and we watched them for half an hour surfing. And I'm pretty sure that they had the best of fun. It was just so nice to watch them do that. And so those 2 probably were the best ever encounters I remember from field work. There are many more, but yeah, those are 2 of my favorites.
Wow.
So nice.
I know.
Where is everything? There's nothing there.
Oh,
Person. Did you just collect more flowers?
I did one of the end of level prizes was flowers in my hair that allow me to swim faster through
nice.
Patches of lily pads and things.
I really like the colors. It's nice.
It's kind of gone all autumny now. Oh, cute. to see if there's any secret. Oh, maybe I need to escort this guy down.
He needs to move over the bridge.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like maybe he'll discover it and fix it. Yeah, here we go.
What's happening?
Oh, the enemies.
Oh.
They're not happy.
No, they're not happy, aren't they?
Oh, he's crying. Oh. Oh, he opened it. He's crying again.
Crying, yeah, he's not happy. As to find out what was going on.
We need to find the mother of the duck. Little duckling.
There's lots of wood on the side. Can you do
Yeah.
something with that wood?
I don't think I can.
Gabby says, I think we've gotten through our entire question list.
Wow.
Speedy. Or maybe somebody else has another question. Anything on marine pollution.
I don't think this duck can get through. Come on. Oh, there we go. Maybe we deliver baby duck to this guy.
Why is he so unhappy?
I don't know. Oh, another baby duck.
So cute.
Come on, you can do it. It was really cute on when we were in Rotterdam. There was kind of like a lake next to our hotel, and there was a family of swans with 7 cygnets.
7?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's a lot.
Wow. We
Obviously
had
very safe, no predators in that.
We were at a competition on the weekend and at a swimming pool, and there's another one. Right outside the swimming pool were 2 swans who had cygnets. I think there were only 3 though, and they were right there next to the window, and they were like, the mum or the dad were like packing the window, and the cygnets were all like huddled up next to the window, and they were basically just there, there.
Aww.
It's amazing. They were so cute. They look so fluffy.
Come on.
Oh, they're not ducks. They're swans.
Yeah.
They're cygnets. Okay.
Again, a weird coincidence.
Yes. So you can't do anything for the crying guy, though.
No.
Why not?
Maybe we'll come back to him. Or a boat. Maybe you can use a boat to get across.
Can you sing against the boat?
No. Can I break this rock though? Get that fish. Oh, it's been such a nice chill afternoon.
It's very nice and relaxing.
Oh, on a bike. Hello. Wow. Even without music, it's like so peaceful with the sound of the water.
The water.
Because that's something like the ocean, as much as forest bathing, like being near the sea or near water is like really calming. Oh, someone said, thank you to the game developer for making this game. Hi, Lord Crispin, thank you for following. Welcome to chat. Yeah, this game is wonderful.
Oh, you've grown.
We've grown.
So nice.
Interesting. So we've got about 5-10 minutes left of stream. If you have any other questions you want to ask about marine pollution or whales and dolphins or World Ocean Day, or we can just sit and enjoy.
The game.
I want to live in this world. I want to sit by this river and just relax. Like these houses this close to the river, it's so nice. He just picked up a piece of wood. Oh, is he fixing it? Wow, if only building was that easy in real life. Interesting. I wonder if we
Maybe you can
nudge this guy to build the rest. There we go. Give him some more materials. Oops, I took it with me.
No.
There you
go.
Maybe that's what we should have done with the crying guy.
Maybe you have to go back.
Build the bridge. He can make up with his friend.
Maybe you have to go back.
Yeah, I just want to see what happens when he builds it. Yeah, that should be enough, just that last one. There's a fish here.
Fabulous. What's going to happen?
We're united. Or they just get in a fight.
Oh. No. Don't jinx it. This is too peaceful for fighting.
Oh, you can't see. Oh. Let's give a go. Let's see if we can help Mr. Crying Guy. Is it this way? Yes. Oh, we can't. We've gone past it. We can't go back.
Oh, okay.
Oh well.
Oh well.
I've lost all my fish as well. I went too fast.
You have 2 fish there. Okay.
Where do they go? There's one.
There's one.
Little trail of fish.
You're sitting together now. Put in.
Yeah. See if we can get to like one end of chapter. Oh, this is new. I don't know what this... Oh! There's many of them.
Don't go too fast.
Oh, there they are. Oh. I don't know what to do with these purple things.
I don't know. Oh.
There's another one down there. I don't remember seeing any more of these other than these two.
No, not of the purple ones.
No.
Don't go too fast, you're losing your fish.
Oh yeah. My fishies!
Ah, one more. One of them needs to get up and open that weir.
At the start of the level there is a windmill. Okay. Luckily we have the creator of the game in chat. Let's have a
little
look.
hint. At the start of the level there is a windmill.
I remember seeing a windmill, yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Ah. Ah. There.
I did think about the... Oh! Oh. I wonder if that's enough. Oh!
And now he's...
Okay. I'm assuming...
I love the fact that there are even the the shadows in the water, and you only have flower
my
shadows.
flowers.
Yeah. There you go.
Yay!
Come on, keep going.
Oh, this music is so nice. Here he comes! He's gonna open the gate for us!
Oh, something purple is following you now as well. But he's gone.
Just need to just sing at him. Yeah.
Okay, there
Thank
you go.
Yeah. Oh,
It's so chilled, isn't it?
it's so nice. So
That's
like,
really nice.
it's a really. I think it's a good place to stop it for the day.
Can't wait to play
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Well, this game is currently on discount, and up until tomorrow, 6 p.m. BST, will also be donating a percentage of the net revenue to WDC. So big thanks to High Warp, who is in the chat today, for making this incredible game, but also for supporting WDC. And I assume it saves, so I will quit. Yes. So yeah. Oh, and Mcroft is still live. Oh, £700. Wow. So yeah, that was
Wow.
let me go to just chatting. That was NAIAD. That was incredible. That was kind of, it was more than I expected. I purposely went into the game quite blind. Like I'd only ever really seen like promo pics of it, and I then showed Pina the trailer this morning,
Yes.
and that's all we knew about it. I just knew that it was really cute and sweet, and would be nice, kind of chill vibes whilst we chatted about whales and
Yeah.
dolphins and marine pollution and all the work that Pina's doing and the stuff that's going to be funded thanks to everyone taking part in World Ocean Day. So thank you all for sticking around and watching the stream, for asking all your amazing questions, and thank you, Pina, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.